Good afternoon, everybody. And let me say before I carry on, it looks my hairstyle lovely, isn't it? Um, I'm getting like a go now. Um, I'm really getting a go now, and well, it's you never know, you never know. Anyway, yeah, I need curlers in my hair. Um, we supposed to have had Michael Chappell on, and what's happened is that unfortunately he can't get on here. So I was for about an hour, and for about an hour or so we've been exchanging messages and trying to sort him out and everything. Um, Somehow he did get on, and somehow he did get on. Then next minute he kind of like he disappeared. But there you go. There is some, you know, never mind. Don't worry about it. Um, what we were going to talk about is kidney problems, kidney trouble, kidney problems. And in 1982, my mum started having pains in her side, and we thought, just a kidney stone, it will pass. The next minute, my mum was rushed to Derriford, in Plymouth, and found out that she had kidney trouble. The story behind it is that the kidney kind of like just basically kind of like wasn't working no more. They tried kind of they couldn't do a transplant, so they're taking it away, and she had to go into dialysis. Now, if you don't know what dialysis is all about, I will explain in a wee bit. In the meantime, she had to go into dialysis where they put take all the old stuff out of your body, the old like blood and stuff like that out of the body, and put new blood in to keep their kidneys going. And so anyway, she kept on going there every 2 weeks. Don't forget, she couldn't get a transplant. Every 2 weeks, she kept on going there, coming back, going there. And I thought, it was just like an ordinary machine, a little machine type thing. And I said to my mum one day, I said, "Hey, mum, what's these machines like?" And she said, "They're huge, huge machines, really huge." And I thought to myself, "Oh, what are we going to do? What are you going to cope with a machine like that then?" She said, "Oh, it's nothing." But but beforehand, it was a shock to her. Do you get me? It was a really, really big shock. So I'm going to kind of like show you uh, show you this, and about the kidney transplant and whatever. Then come back and we'll talk more. So what usually happens with anything, if a kidney kind of like breaks down, someone usually goes on to, the person goes on to what you call a dialysis. So this is where they connect someone for dialysis.
La deuxième. Allez, on va brancher.
So this was the machine I was on about. So they're connecting it up now to the dialysis machine.
Merci.
Hello, Michael.
Hi, I'm Steve. How you doing?
Yeah, okay. I'm just showing everybody about how they do the connection for the dialysis machine.
Right, okay.
Won't be a few minutes.
Okay. This takes me back.
Yeah, explain what's going on here then, Mike, to everybody.
So they obviously have to kind of put in how much fluid there is to lose. So the machine is doing what the kidney should do. So the machine is what you call an artificial kidney. So it's filtering all the badness and the toxins out of the system. So it's cleaning the blood and then pumping it back into you.
when my mum used to be on, when my let me get you in now. Um,
Yes.
when my mum used to be on, hi, when my mum
I,
used to be on kidney, oh yeah, she used to go to dialysis like every other day.
yes.
So she'd miss a day and go back another day,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and so on. Um, when I contacted you earlier, I was speaking to you about what you had to go through, and you were really kind of like you went on dialysis for a little while. Can you explain to everybody, to me, to everybody for me?
Yes, I was on dialysis for 8 years. It was 3 times a week for between 3.5 to 4 hours per shift. So the dialysis machine is what you call an artificial kidney. So you have two needles in your arm, which is a venous and an arterial. So one line pulls it out of your system and then the other pumps it back in. So I used to have a fistula myself, and I was actually trained to put the needles in myself, but then the staff needled me, to get me trained up for doing that myself.
Right, okay. Because what it is, when my mum had her stent, she only had one kidney left,
Right.
right, and she had to go on dialysis every day because she only had one. And people say, when gone on dialysis, it's just kind of like nothing at all, but it does really take it out on you, doesn't it, when you go on
It does.
dialysis?
It does, Steve, yes. It
Yeah,
does.
yeah. So you go on there for kind of like, so you go on the dialysis for around about 4 hours.
Between 3.5 and 4, Steve.
Yeah, yeah. And when you're on there, are you asleep or can you just have a cup of tea and watch
Um,
a telly or what?
we can watch the TVs that they had in the unit. It was a satellite unit based at Dewsbury DDH.
Right,
So it was set up at Dewsbury District Hospital in Dewsbury.
right, okay. And and what started in the beginning? Let's go back from the beginning. So what started off with you then when you started having your kidney problems then?
Right. Before I was born, the my mum had a scan and my problems were picked up on my mum's scan before I was even born. So the staff were ready for me, so they knew exactly what was going to be going on.
Right, okay. And when they got the diagnosis that you had problems,
Yes.
how did what explain now then? So you were told that you got problems.
Yes. Yeah. So I've grown up with it, Steve. I've been in and out of hospital for a lot of years, for numerous operations. So it's just been one hell of a roller coaster. So I've
Yeah,
had that.
yeah, I bet it is. Yeah, I bet it is. And it's
So
horrible too because my mum used to have like a colostomy bag, and you know,
yes,
she have, so every time she wanted to go toilet, and she had to go toilet and drain the bag and everything.
yes. Well, talking of bags, I have what's called a urostomy, which is used of bowel. So my urine comes out of the urostomy instead of going via the bladder via the penis.
Right.
So my bladder has that many pockets in it because that's how the reflux went from the bladder up to the kidneys, causing my old kidneys to fail. So I was having years and years and years of infections. My dad was driving me down to St James's 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning with severe pain in my back. So I just went through the mill, Steve. It was horrendous.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very horrendous.
I believe you. I believe you. Um. We. So when you kind of like when they said to you that you had to have an operation, Because in the end, you got a transplant, didn't you? You had another kidney fitted.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So when
Yes.
they said, because they say, let me get my facts right. They say sometimes, like, if you've got one kidney and and you're on dialysis for a long time because it keeps you alive and stuff. And but sometimes they say, well, you've got a span life of so and so. But now you had a transplant. So what was it
Yes.
like when you had that transplant?
Oh, well, that was a roller coaster as well because there was only me and my father at home. My mother was in Norfolk with her mother, and my sister had only recently moved to Australia. So when I got that call, it was about 4:30, quarter to 5 in the morning, and one of the transplant staff gave me a ring from St James and saying, "Is that Michael Chappell?" I went, "Yes." He says, "Oh, it's so-so doctor from St James's here. Um, we know you're on the transplant list. Would you come down because we think we've got a match for you?" And it's like, oh heck, you know. And that was a scary time of receiving that call. So I ran into mum and dad's bedroom. Had to wake me down. Dad, they think they've got a kidney for me. So it was very scary, Steve.
Mm.
So we had to get ourselves up and ready. We had to get myself down to the hospital. I couldn't get hold of my mum because the signal at their end was very poor. So I had to get a message from myself to my sister in Australia, bouncing me off a satellite, and then it went from Australia back to Norfolk. And my sister said to my mum, "Are you coming home now, mum? Or are you going to see and wait if it's a match?" And my mum's thinking, what's my daughter on about?
Mm.
And then she finally twigged. So then my mum had to ring her brother in Hinckley in Leicester to come down to Norfolk to pick up my nana to bring her home while she shot back up to Leeds to be with me. So like a call's gone from England to Australia and back to England again.
Gosh, do you have a
So
stoma bag as well? Then do you?
I do, Steve, yes.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And when you kind of like, so are you okay now? Is everything okay?
Everything's going okay at the moment. I will hold my hands up and say I'm struggling with my weight at the moment due to just all this lockdown and boredom, and I'm really trying to do Slimming World, Steve, and it's so hard.
I know. I've been there. I've been there. Done that. I don't know
And
if you know about me, but I've done um, lots of TV. I've been on TV and stuff like that, and I've
yeah,
documentaries about weight. So yeah, I know. I know about that. But on Channel 5, everything. So anyway,
yeah,
the but the trouble is with kidney trouble. The trouble is with kidneys is sometimes it's difficult to get a match for a particular kidney.
it is. It is hard.
And you keep going back, so and they test you for it, and sometimes they could say no, it doesn't match, so you get all down and depressed about it. Like,
Yeah.
did that ever happen to you?
Well, there was one time where I was being trained to needle myself, and I got the call for a kidney transplant, and I thought, well, I still had my old kidneys in at the time, and everything was going through my head. I was due to be needling myself for the first time. Then all of a sudden, that kidney came for me. I couldn't do it, Steve, because
Mm.
I had so much things going through my head, and they had to try and get a psychologist up to me to try and help me through it, to try and change my mind, but I just couldn't
Mm.
couldn't go ahead with it, Steve.
The trouble is, though, it's so difficult now because it must have been so difficult because you're there having you got problems with your kidneys, and all of a sudden they come to you and say, look, you've got to have your kidney taken out, you've got to go on dialysis. I bet that was really a strain on your life, wasn't it, and your family?
It was a strain on all of us. When I had the removal of both kidneys, it was quite pleasing because it got rid of those infections. So they removed them, and I asked the surgeon what they were like when he took them out, and he says they were just unrecognisable. He says they were just shattered.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
Did you used to drink a lot?
well, I love to drink. I love to drink, water, tea, coffee. I'm like
Did you used to drink like alcohol? Well,
to be honest, Steve, I've never been a big alcohol drinker. To be honest, it just doesn't really interest me.
right, okay, okay,
No.
right, okay. So, when you kind of like how often do you have to go to the hospital now? Is it like every few weeks or?
Um, when it first started, well, it's like now it's once a month. So not once a month, once every 4 months. But
All right, that's quite good.
due to all the COVID, all the appointments have now changed to phone calls.
Yeah, yeah,
Just to keep us all safe, really.
yeah. Um, how old were you when you had when all this started then?
From birth, Steve.
Yeah,
It was from birth. They found out through my mum's scan
yeah,
that I was going to have
yeah,
problems.
yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to kind of like work back on it because I try to remind people that what you've been going through, so all the people that's joining us at the moment on radio and plus sign here, I'm just telling everybody. And from birth, it seems to be kind of like your mum must have felt really, really um, depressed, down because knowing that from birth that you had these problems.
Yes, yeah, she has been through the mill herself.
All right,
So the family have found it extremely hard.
right, okay,
Very, very hard.
right, okay. So if you kind of like, so what do you do now then? What do you do? Or do you stay at home or what do you do with your life now?
Right. What I do in my life now is I live in a supported living environment in Cleckheaton, West Yorkshire, and the staff are there 24/7. If we need anything, they help with making meals, they help with checking my food if anything's out of date, they help me do my cleaning. I do my washing myself, which I'm capable of doing. So they do a lot for me. And then 2 days a week, I'm doing a course through a company called Mind the Gap, and it's um it's a group called Future Me, and it's all about the theatre and the arts. So we're kind of all looking to hopefully one day work in a theatre. When we're all out of this lockdown. So I'm doing that. I'm trying to do Slimmy World as well, but it's not easy. So I'm
Mm,
I'm trying to do all different interests. I'm doing my family history, which is really filling most of my time.
mm.
So I'm really enjoying it at the moment. Just try and keep my mind focused.
Yeah, yeah, you got to, yeah. Well, we've got my we've got a weight loss support group.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
free of charge. You can join that. And we got also a mental health group. And if you ever kind of like need to speak to somebody like a counselor, we can supply you with that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're welcome to join any of our groups, and it'd be nice to have you. Um,
Yep.
the with and because you don't have to, just don't be alone. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, Steve.
It's at the end of the day, people are there for you, and sometimes I know when you're going through problems like kidneys and stuff like that, and You know, my mum when my mum had kidney trouble, it was like the end of the world for me. She couldn't have a transplant, so she died.
Mm,
My mum died. And
I'm sorry to hear that, Steve.
no, it's okay. It's okay because we because now what I try to do now is I help people through various problems. If it's like kidneys or mental health or whatever, I'll do it through doing this, and we're well known for it now. But anyway, Michael, thank you very
Yeah,
much because
yeah,
this is going to help a lot of people. And
yeah,
thank you very much for your time. And have a good Sunday, won't you?
yeah. I must admit, Steve, I do find it hard to cry about stuff because I don't know if it's because I don't want to feel daft in front of people. I don't know what it is that's stopping me. It's just,
So tell me more, mate. Tell me more, Mike.
I don't know how to cry, Steve. I find it difficult to get it out.
Right. Okay.
So
So
it's,
so see, let me say something to you. We had somebody here the other day on our program, and he said to me, he said, Steve, we were talking generally, and he said to me, Steve, sometimes I find it difficult to cry. It's because I'm a man, and
that
men don't usually cry.
that might be it then.
All right, because men don't usually cry. Okay,
Uh huh.
and what they usually do is they put everything inside them, and they think, no, I'm not going to cry and everything. It's not me. But sometimes, Mike, we need to cry to release everything.
Yeah.
In life. Things when things are getting on top of us, and everything's going on and everything. And my wife would be the first one to tell you. I'm a soppy person when I get going. Right?
Yeah.
I only got to watch something on TV, mate. I'm totally gone. But
Yes.
the trouble is, so it doesn't. If you want to cry, you cry because it doesn't make out that you're a man or nothing. You're still Michael, and at the end of the day, if you want to cry, you just do it because we all have our inner self.
Yes.
There's always something in there, right? And we need to release now and again. All
Mm.
right. And if you need any help, any time or anything, just get in contact with us. I'll add you to my Facebook and
Yep.
things like that, and you can have a chat or whatever. I'm here.
Okay,
All
Steve,
right.
that's great.
I'm not like everybody else say, oh yeah, I'm here. I'm here for like 24 hours a day.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
lovely, Steve.
All right.
That's lovely.
You take care.
You too, and keep well, keep safe,
I will do.
and
Yeah. I've got to stay in at the moment. I had my jab the other week.
oh, how did it go?
Yeah, it was all right. What they do is, have you had your jab yet?
Yes, about 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago.
So
So,
that's mine there. Look.
yeah, I've had
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah. So I've got another one to go, and but I did have no after effects.
Which one did you have? Did you have the Pfizer or the Zeneca?
You'll have the Pfizer or the Seneca. Well, I had the Oxford one. Is it what's that?
Oh, the Oxford Pfizer. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I had the Oxford one. Yeah, it was like they came to my home because I've got problems too. I've got like disabilities too, and they came to my home and done it. So
Oh, that's
I was
fantastic.
glad about that.
That's
So and
fantastic.
yeah, but it's you're not worry. Kind of like you ever cry sometime. I'll tell you what, if you feel better for it.
Uh-huh. Okay, Steve.
Watch some listen to some soppy music or watch a love story.
Yeah, me and my mum and dad actually watched a film the other night called The Notebook on
All right, yeah,
Netflix. That was a really, really good film. Really good
yeah,
film.
yeah, yeah. We watch a lot of Netflix programs, but the trouble is, though, we find with Netflix is that they never they're not quick enough to change all their programs, are they?
No, no, no.
So there's some good stuff on now. We just checked earlier, but I've got another show at 2 o'clock, so then I can start watching Netflix again. But I've got
Yeah,
Sky too, so I'm okay. So, but it's but It's my wife's turn today, so because I had
Well,
it yesterday.
choose the Notebook, Steve. It's
I will
really,
do.
really good.
I'll
Really good
definitely watch
film.
that.
It's
I'll
very
definitely,
moving.
I'll definitely
Very
watch that.
moving.
Thank you very much, Michael.
Okay. Am I possible just to show you one last thing before we go?
Yeah, carry on. You
That's
can
all
carry
right.
on. Yeah, yeah.
Right. I've been doing my family history, and this guy here is called Thomas Pickering. He was in the Northumberland Fusiliers and also in the King's Own Light Yorkshire Infantry in the First World War. And he also lived at the same address as my great grandma.
All right.
And my great granddad, he was in the Royal Field Artillery in 1914. And in 1917, he was deprived of one day's pay for using obscene language in front of his sergeant because they'd obviously been away fighting. And after the day's fighting, his sergeant asked him to sort the horses out and put them away and clean the baton out and things. He thought, bad enough. So apparently he told his sergeant where to go. So yeah.
I'll get you back on again sometime, and you can talk about that with me.
Yeah, that
All
would
right.
be lovely.
We
That'd be
always
lovely,
get
Steve.
our guests to come back. I'll get my wife to contact you in about 5 minutes, and she'll make another date with you on time. All right.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
All right then. Thank
All
you.
right, Steve. Cheers for your
Bye-bye.
time. I do appreciate that.
Anytime you want. Bye.
Cheers, buddy.
Bye.
Talk
Don't
soon.
forget, guys, we have got Robbie Ainsley coming up around about 2 o'clock today. Thank you, Michael, for joining us.
Yeah,
Sometimes
no
when
problem. How do I sign off, Steve? Sorry.
hang on for
Oh,
a second.
leave.
Yeah, please.
Sorry.
Yeah, leave.
Got
All
it.
right.
Chat soon.
Chat to you. Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Sometimes, like with any person with kidney trouble, it can be a strain on your life and very difficult. But anyway, you take care, everybody. See you around about 2 o'clock. Bye bye.